A and B are integers, b squared minus a squared equal to a. We want to find a and b. In first step, let's write main equation b squared minus a squared equal to a. In next step, we take, or let's say we add a squared to both sides, or we can say we take negative a squared to the right hand side. So we have b squared equal to a squared plus a. And then on right hand side, we factor from a. It will be a times a plus 1. Now, what can we conclude from here? It is a perfect square, and it is product of two consecutive numbers, a and a plus 1. Their GCD is what? Means their common factor, greatest common divisor, is 1. They are relatively prime. A and a plus 1 means don't have any common factors. So, if two numbers, product of two numbers, like a plus 1, equal to a perfect square, and they are relatively prime, or they don't have any common factor, we can conclude each of them should be perfect square. So, let's write, we can say a has to be a perfect square, like x squared, and a plus 1 also should be another perfect square, y squared. So, let me tell you this one by example. At the end, I will explain this part with more explanation for you. So, a is perfect square, a plus 1 is perfect square. Then if we subtract these two equations, a plus 1 minus a on left hand side is 1 right hand side. Y squared minus x squared. Now we have a famous factorization that y squared minus a squared equal to y minus x, y plus x. Now here, because we want to find a and also b, so we can say x and y without loss of generality, they are positive numbers or non-negative. Because for example, if x is negative 2, we can say x is 2 because in both cases a is 4. So we can say x and y without loss of generality are greater than equal 0. So in next step, we can say their product is 1. This part is non-negative number, and because it cannot be 0 because the product won't be 1, so the only possible case it is 1, it is 1. Now, if we add y minus, let's write y minus x is 1, y plus x is 1. So we can add these two things, 2y equal to 2, so y equal to 1. And if we subtract these two terms, 2x equal to what? If you subtract 0, so x equal to 0. So we understand that a was x squared, so a is 0 and a plus 1 is 1. So we can conclude, let's write a new page, b squared equal to a times a plus. So the thing I said that a should be a perfect square, a plus 1 should be perfect square, we work on these things when they are non-negative numbers. So one case is 0, 1. If they are negative numbers, negative will be cancelled, but again they are relatively prime. Another case is negative 1, 0, if we check. And we have only these two cases, and for both of them, b will be 0. So if we want to write all the answers, a, b. So 0, negative 1, b 0, 0 in both cases. So we found two answers in integers. Let me explain for you the thing I said at the end. I will explain that a times a plus 1 is perfect square. If we have, so the solution has been finished. If we have xy equal to, for example, c squared, and GCD, it is an important point. GCD of xy is 1, and xy are, let's say, positive integers. So we can say, if they are positive integers, we conclude x is perfect square, y is perfect square. So For this one, we can say, okay, if we consider, for example, a negative, then both of them will be negative except -1. Then you can cancel negative signs. And also for positive signs, if you check, you will reach 0 for non-negative numbers. For positive numbers, you reach 0, 1. So you will see in positive integers for a, we don't have any answer. You need to only check 0, 1 and -1, 0. And here it's one of the most useful way. And we have a similar one that xy is prime factor times perfect square that was useful in AMC 2022. This idea was useful in AMC American Math Competitions 2022. And one important thing, let me tell you another point. We said GCD of A and A plus 1 is 1. Maybe you ask that why their GCD is 1. I say suppose their GCD equal to D, I want to prove why it is 1. So we say because it is GCD, A is D, for example, A1, A plus 1 is DA2. And by definition of GCD, D is greater than positive by definition. D should be positive GCD always. If we subtract A plus 1 minus A is 1, it is D A2 minus DA1. If we factor from D, it will be DA2 minus A1. Now D is positive, so the product D times A2 minus A1 is 1. So the only possible case is D1, A2 minus A1 is 1. So the GCD is 1, means A and A plus 1, two consecutive numbers, don't have any common factor. Okay, so if you want to learn other ideas that are useful in, let me tell you, this idea also useful in BMO, British Mathematical Olympiad round 2, 2017, 2018. If you want to learn important ideas like this for getting good mark in prestigious exams like AMC, BMO, AIME, USAMO, BMO round 1, round 2, IMO, feel free to send message to my WhatsApp number in the description and comments. And please don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell, and like the video. And if you had questions, send message to my WhatsApp number. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day. Bye.